This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Racial consultants are standing by. Caller 9-844-999-OLO will play profile this in minutes. And we have your headlines on the way 1 hour from now. First, quick check-in to Mike Hawk for some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
A company in New Zealand launched a satellite into orbit last week that basically looks like a huge disco ball.
And I saw that. What is it?
Supposedly it'll be the brightest object in the night sky when it flies overhead. A lot smaller than the moon, though, obviously, but it'll be directly over the U.S. in March and fall back to Earth later on this year.
So the idea is just for us to be able to look up and see it.
I guess. It's a satellite, so I think with anything else, it's just out there for studying.
Okay. The big disco ball.
Maybe just going to take high-def pictures of the planet.
If we all just shine our flashlight at it, maybe it'll sparkle.
Dance party in March. Glassdoor.com says the best job to have this year is data scientist.
Yeah, they might be right. That is so far away from anything I even remotely understand. I couldn't even begin to comment on it.
I don't know, man. I read today that the average cost salary of In-N-Out manager is $160,000. Maybe you might want to be thinking about burgers, fries, and shakes.
So I can go to college and become a data scientist, or I can go get a job at, where's it, In-N-Out?
In-N-Out Burger.
Work my way up to manager, make $160?
Mm-hmm. What's a data scientist?
Exactly.
It's a person that studies data there, Ted.
See, that doesn't sound exciting. But standing around with all these sizzling burgers, happy customers.
French fries and
not
milkshakes.
Great fries, but good milkshakes, solid burgers. Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. It also says the top five also include marketing manager, occupational therapist, and HR manager. I can't imagine that a therapist would be a good job for this year.
No. Any year.
Right.
I mean, look, it's not even the volume of customers you might have. Any one of them you talk to, they're not there because they have great things to tell you.
No. They're just going to flush all their bad things on you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like a contagion.
Take my disease away.
If I was a therapist, I would just say, that is whack.
I hear what you're saying, and that is whack.
That is whack, dude. You need help.
Dang, man, you should get this out.
Right?
Have you tried punching him?
That's your solution for this? That is whack.
You need to talk to somebody.
What should I do? Well, I'm going to write it down on this little piece of paper here. And then tell you to breathe. If you're an animal lover, though, this might be the best job ever. An animal clinic in Ireland currently has a job opening for a cat cuddler.
Cat cuddler.
Come on, man.
I'd do it.
I can't get away from my cat. He's on me all the time. I don't have a choice.
But what if that was your job, Miles? What if you got paid to not have to leave the cat?
It is my job, but I don't get paid. That's what I'm saying. Like, right. I'll take the money at this point.
You'd be a
you're
cat
the same.
cuddler?
You're the same way, Mike, and you know it. Could you think of all the times that you could get paid for that cat just not leaving you alone?
Oh, yeah. It'd be great.
Yeah.
I just want $1 for every time the goddamn thing swipes at my hand when I'm tying my shoes.
Mike, I
like
know.
Like the shoelaces, bitch, and you know this,
or when
man.
I'm eating.
Mike, I know you're going to laugh at me, but right up the road from me is a cat cafe.
Jesus Christ. Tell me they at least serve cat to eat in the place
they
you're
have,
supposed
they have
to go.
coffee, and all the cats can be adopted.
The cats can be adopted.
So you don't take your cat.
Okay.
Though.
You can.
Wow.
No, don't. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Do they have little cat lattes that you can give your cat so you can pretend that you're social and have coffee with your cat?
I didn't say I've been. I said there's one.
Not you personally, Miles. I'm just saying, if I was a very, very, very sad and lonely individual, could I take my cat there and get them a big old bowl of the little kitty coffee? We could have coffee on a Sunday.
Yes.
Because cats need caffeine.
You could.
Right? And they totally sit there and lap up coffee when you want them to.
I'm just amazed you two guys are cat people and you're turning on these other cat people.
I'm not.
A lot of infighting.
I'm not.
Mike hates them.
Yeah.
There's cat people and there's people that have a cat.
I admit that I like cats.
Cat
Correct.
people, I like my cat.
Right. I enjoy my cat.
But
I
see,
spend a
that's the
lot of
thing.
fun times with my cat when I'm at home in my apartment.
But I feel like cats are kind of like kids. Like, you definitely like yours. Well,
Yeah.
not definitely, but predominantly you like yours. Other people's, hit and miss. But then when it's a dog, unless the dog's an absolute ass, like, you just kind of like dogs.
The cat that comes running up to you when you're walking on the street, the sidewalk or whatever, and meow, meow. He's going to be all right. Like, he's coming like, what's happening, man? How
Cute
are
little
you?
guy.
Good to see him outside, like, looking for squirrels and stuff.
See, I thought the one I saw was saying, I have rabies, hope I don't bite you.
Yeah.
But I'm going to pat him on the head a couple times, and then I'm going to continue on. I enjoy cats. I'm not a cat people.
I'm not a cat people.
There's some psychotic cat people. Moving on. A couple in the UK recently held their wedding reception at a KFC, had 40 guests, and it cost them less than $150.
Perfect.
That's thinking.
Weird to have it at KFC. That is incredibly cost-effective.
It's remarkably cost-effective.
You have delicious chicken and mashed potatoes at your reception.
You don't have a salmon option this time.
Well, and here's the thing. Would you buy everybody's meal there?
Yes, absolutely.
Would you?
do. Yeah.
Okay.
And then
they did it in
and then you
advance,
go
right?
put a down payment on a house instead of blowing all that money on a one-day party.
I'm just thinking, if they did that, 40 guests only cost them $150. That's not a bad day at KFC, man.
No, it's not.
Well,
I
maybe
bet you they had a bad morning after.
Maybe they didn't all get individual meals. Maybe they just bought a lot of family buckets.
Sure. And then if you wanted to get something specific, which I'm sure a lot of people did, they just ran over to the counter, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if I'm having it at KFC, I'm paying for it, dude.
Sure, I got everyone.
Everybody. Mike, you get in there. You get wings.
Go grab yourself a gravy espresso, man.
Get yourself that family size of wedges.
Oh, that's right. I wonder if they if they had a bar there, if they serve those
gravy
KFC
shots.
gravy shots.
Oh, the gravy drinks.
Right, because they
Why
want
not?
3 drinks. That'd be the time to do it. We ain't worried about our health.
A man in Massachusetts thought he won $10,000 in the lottery, went to claim it last Friday, and found out that he'd actually won $1 million.
Awesome.
What a bummer.
Just a slip of the eye there. Oops.
Dude, that's so funny because you go into that office thinking about a great vacation with that, you just
yeah.
won 10 G's. You leave that office unemployed and a millionaire.
Really?
And-
You're thinking vacation with 10 grand, Ted?
I'm just saying, with 10 grand, I would take some of it and go.
Sure.
Yeah, go somewhere.
And here's the thing, though. No one else knows that you actually won $1 million. So all those money-grubbing family members, as far as they know, you still only won $10,000.
Let's hope you kept that to yourself.
Right. I'm going to balance the budget, then I'm going to go take the kids to, Spokane. It'll be fun.
Kids, the hell with them.
Yeah, take the kids to Spokane. What'd you do when you won the lottery?
I drove across a state.
And went to Spokane, Washington.
Cost-effective vacation.
Glad I didn't make it to be one of your kids there, Mike.
I got a lot of debt, guys.
I can see Mike's future. He's going to get married in a KFC, drive his new bride to Spokane, and there you go, baby.
It's as good as it's going to get.
Want to go ride the bus? An 18-year-old burglary suspect in Indiana told police he's not the one who broke into a gun store over the weekend by smashing through a wall, but added that whoever pulled it off must be really smart.
And really strong.
I'm assuming it had to be him, right?
Right. I heard he was handsome and very intelligent.
Must have had a huge penis.
This guy was great.
The ladies loved him. That's all I know. That's all I know.
I don't know who could have done it, but
I heard he's dashing.
He was a
Hell of a man.
mastermind. He deserves a new car.
right? Strong, good looking.
An elderly man started choking on a piece of hamburger at a restaurant in Massachusetts, but 3 first responders happened to be having lunch there and saved his life.
I was lucky.
Convenient.
Right.
I mean, sort of. You have to have the problem first, really.
Sorry, dude, I'm on break.
You'd have to think that at least one person at any of those places per shift needs to be trained for that, but you never know if you're going to get lucky or not.
Yeah.
A 28.
It's kind of shocking you don't see more people choking.
I don't know
Wow.
what blows my mind.
Like, I don't know. I go to
Lack
a lot
of
of
choking
restaurants.
people.
Yeah,
People can't chew on their food?
it's
There's
rare
no,
that you see somebody choking, but we're all eating every day.
That's true.
Dangerous out there in those restaurants.
Like I told my kids when they were little, chew, chew, chew.
That comes there not more tripping deaths. Everybody's walking.
But I see people. I see more people tripping than I do see people choking.
You know, you're right.
Yeah.
What counts as choking? I mean, if I go, and then it's done, did I choke?
What counts as choking is when you think you're going to die
Right.
because you can't breathe, Mike, so you've never actually choked yet.
In my life, it's only ever been once. I choked on a giant-ass hot dog at a bull riding event last year.
I've
You
done
choked
it
last
on a
year,
hot
man.
dog at a bull riding event.
I took
That
it.
sounds
I mean,
so
that is
dirty.
the most Mike Hawk thing I've ever heard. I choked on a hot dog
At a bull
at a
riding.
bull riding event.
It was a really big hot dog, and it was really hot.
Wow.
I mean, not even like a baseball game.
It was the
Here we are at the PBR. Oh, can we get an EMT down there in section 103, aisle 43? We got a man down there choking on a waiter.
It was the end piece. It was too big to do in one bite, but too small to take two, so I went brave.
Some man comes running up in Wrangler jeans and wraps his arms around Mike.
I thought it'd be
and
one of the
squeezes
rodeo
him.
clowns.
I basically vomited the thing back into my hands. A man in Wisconsin got drunk in a hotel bar and attempted to get laid at the wedding reception being held at the ballroom, and it did not go as planned.
Why not?
I'll tell you all about it 1 hour from now.
Thank you, Mike Hawk. Headlines are on the way 1 hour now from now. But first, the game is...
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
Stephen Thrill-Hill, can you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes a story a story. Hello, Shane. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hello, Shane. How are you?
I'm great.
Do you know how the game is played?
I know.
Fantastic. Here is your story. We have a couple who walked into a pet store in Clearwater, Florida, earlier this month. And while the woman distracted the cashier, the guy shoved several exotic fish down his pants and then walked out with them. Now, it should be noted, he put them in a plastic bag first, so they weren't just flopping around in his underwear, which is either lucky for him or lucky for the fish. The jury's still out on that. But it's not clear how many fish he walked off with, but each one sold for about $20. Now, the cashier realized what happened when she saw drops of water on the floor next to their tanks. And she was actually able to get the license plate number of the car before this couple drove off. The cops tracked him down last Friday. They arrested him for theft. It's not clear if the woman has been charged, but police haven't been able to recover the fish yet. My question is, do you believe that this enterprising young couple is black, white, Mexi, or Asian?
What do you guys think?
They say what kind of pants he was wearing?
It does not say his types of pants.
This is Florida, right?
Clearwater, Florida. They walked in. The girlfriend distracts the cashier. The guys start shoving pants or fish down his pants.
And I gotta be honest with you, the only time I see fish tanks anymore are at old school restaurants. Mm-hmm. Some hospital waiting rooms have them in there.
Right.
Maybe there's like I just don't see them that much anymore. I'm trying to think who would you sell them to?
Don't kids still like fish tanks?
They do, but
goldfish,
the easier version.
Right. Because the thing is, when it's your kids, unless you are specifically interested in
there's a lot of upkeep.
You're not getting them right. You're not getting into this tropical stuff.
I've watched a lot of cribs. I feel like a lot of black dudes love a fish tank.
A lot of rich black dudes.
Because the fish are in his pants, I think it's white.
Okay.
I'm going to go Asian. Shane, what do you think? Final answer.
I'm kind of leaning Asian too, but I think I'm going to go black.
Final answer. We'll find out if they were black, white, Mexi, or Asian next.
That was a tease.
You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Let's go to Florida on Profile This. We go to Clearwater, and someone who didn't want to pay for fish. Apparently they're exotic and expensive. Although the fish were only $20. Guy managed to bag up the fish accordingly, like when you buy fish in a bag of water and tie it up. But he put the bag down his pants. I guess probably a few bags down his pants.
I guess. I don't know, man. I just know those fish had to be disturbed. Like, dude, is that a penis?
Okay.
Oh, my God. But, Shane, we asked you, did you believe that this couple that stole the fish is black, white, Mexi, or Asian?
And, Shane, you went black. Ted guessed white. I guessed Asian.
By the way, that is for all of you.
No
Mexi.
way.
Oh, yeah.
Golly.
Mexi.
Man, did we whiff.
Everybody. I mean, 3 out of them. Come on. Yeah.
What the hell are we doing?
Cruz Garcia and his girlfriend.
Okay.
Yeah. If you given us the name, that would have helped.
Yeah, a lot.
That's why I didn't give you the name.
Cruz Garcia.
Cruz Garcia.
Okay.
That's his name.
That's like a made-up name.
For all the TV news all the time, it is time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
Everybody likes The Price is Right. I think it goes without saying. Most people would say, hey, Plinko's my favorite game, right? But there's also like the yodeling dude.
They still do the shell game, or is that gone?
The show game?
The shell game, where they put the ping pong ball.
Yeah.
Kind of like the guy who put the hand down on the woman's hand, and, you know.
Did they play the shell game on Price is Right? I always feel like that's more like a street game.
They used to play that all the time,
Yeah,
but I don't know if they do it anymore. I haven't watched the show in years. It's like, when are you home during the day unless you have an overnight shift or you're taking care of a child, or like, those are the times I remember watching The Price is Right.
Oh, I'm 100% with you.
So it's just hard to watch it.
Yeah, to me, watching Price is Right or like I don't know, like a midtime or a daytime like show or like a judge show or whatever, feels like you're homesick from school.
Yeah.
That's immediately what you think of. Yeah.
I used to watch it when I did overnights, and then I would come home, and I had this. It got to the point where I started watching General Hospital.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. And I liked it.
Everybody went through that phase. I went through that phase when I was like 13 or 14. I started watching it for some reason. Well, because I was a latchkey kid, and it came on at 3.
That's it.
Well, the game has, I figured, hadn't changed that much. That's why I kind of assumed they still have some of the old games.
And, Drew Carey's the host.
Mm-hmm. I do. I like Drew Carey a lot.
Yeah. So a lot of times people get real excited, right? And they'll run up there. I mean, with Drew Carey, they used to do it with Bob Barker, too, and they'll kind of hug him or jump on him or whatever. Well, sometimes people jump on you and you fall over. You hear the gas. Drew is on the ground.
Everybody!
That video, by the way, if you want to watch that, will be up shortly at the Men's Room Facebook page. You got to watch the video, too, because it's just a chick.
Yeah. She
Like,
tries to hug him.
Right, it's not like some massive person. She just kind of goes to hug him real aggressive and grabs his neck.
It wasn't that bad. He just lost his balance. But I think being the owner of an MLS franchise, that Drew should have known better and flopped and like grabbed his knee going, oh!
Yeah, he could have.
He could have flopped.
Yeah.
Show them boys how it's done.
Right? He recovered quickly. That's all you got to do.
No, he had a smile on his face.
It is kind of funny. As fired up as people get, it's amazing that he doesn't fall over more often.
Here's the thing. You can do a lot of things. You can have a really good show. He can tape 20 episodes.
In a week.
And nothing. And then one chick hugs him and knocks him over and falls, and now he's, on social media.
Yeah, right?
So, I mean, like, that's how it works. Like,
Yeah, I mean, right. I mean, that's got to be a good gig, right? What do they run through, tape a bunch of them in a day, and then you're off for a while?
I think, I don't know how they do it, but I think they tape on the weekends and they do as many as they can in that time.
Drew Carey's an interesting guy, too. Like you mentioned, he's a part owner of the Seattle Sounders FC and the MLS in America. But I saw a show with him maybe 2010. He went to the World Cup and got credentialed as a photographer.
All right.
So that was the first time I realized how much Drew Carey really liked soccer as a sport and everything. And it was just amazing. Like you know what? It must have been before 2010. It was probably like 2006, as I was just kind of starting around that time to watch some soccer or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he was so passionate about it, just taking the photos and showing the fans. You're like, damn it! Like, I've got to start watching this.
That's
sport.
cool.
If you are in that position, and you are in the Hollywood world of there, obviously the Drew Carey show. You go in, you write, you tape, you do all these things. It's not. It's a day-to-day grind on getting that thing and churning out episodes. When you do a game show, you might have to work 1 or 2 days a week.
Oh, yeah.
You might have very long 1 or 2 days, but it's almost like the guy who works 3/12s, or you know what I mean? Like,
doesn't Sajak blow out like?
Oh, he blows out everything in every other weekend in 2 days. And I know this because I worked at a radio station that Pat Sajak owned, and I know how he kind of operated this thing. He flew to L.A. from Severna Park, Maryland. Mm-hmm. He taped 5 episodes on Saturday. They taped 5 episodes on Sunday. He flew back for 2 weeks. When that time was up, he went back and flew and did the same thing over it. So when you think about the amount of work that you're doing, and when they tape these things, I can't see Drew Carey ever wanting to leave this gig. It's a really good gig, all things considered. Now, he could go do stand-up. His options are open because...
But you want to hold on to
his
that.
work days are only a few, and it's not that it's just not as bad as that grind of doing the sitcoms and the other things.
Yeah, and I think a job like that, like eventually you just leave because you're just tired of doing it.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Well, he's
Trebek ain't doing anything else.
And you know what, man? People like him. And he might be the next legacy of that program. People might not know Bob Barker. The only thing that will carry on from The Price is Right from generation to generation, some microphone company's going to have to keep coming out with a long, thin microphone that they never produce anymore since 1940, because that's kind of the most iconic thing in a weird way with Price is Right that keeps it consistent. The long, thin mic. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing.
I thought it was the Barker Beauties.
The host getting better. Well, that'll probably carry on as well.
The Barker Beauties, and then I always liked Bob Barker always hit his putts, too. You can tell that's a guy that only works weekends.
Exactly.
Jesus.
Precisely.
Right. He never he's in Happy Gilmore, you know what I mean?
Right. Speaking of kind of sports and people in the media, so Bob Costas, Miles' favorite, has been working for NBC for a while. NBC has the Super Bowl, so naturally, Bob Costas will be there, right?
Wrong. Good.
There's been rumors. Do you guys remember that? Meet the Nation? Wrong. Basically, people are saying Costas, you'll remember like a month or two ago, he didn't really go off on football. And he just said in November, he said it's destroying people's brains. So a lot of people are speculating now that NBC wants him off the football broadcast because he made those comments about football. But to Costas' quote or credit, it's kind of mutual. Says he's like, I don't have a problem with it. I'm actually happy with it. I've long had feelings about football. So this is the point. It's better to basically he's just saying like, look, I have these feelings of football. It's the giant elephant in a lot of stadiums. Like people are watching it, but we know what it could be doing to people. So I'm fine being off it. I'd rather go do baseball or something else that he cares about.
More so than that, he hasn't been covering football all year. And I hate when certain networks do that. Like,
no, he's on the Sunday night broadcast.
Yeah, but if ESPN had their team that they put inside the desk, or it's Dungy and it's a couple other guys, I can't remember who the hell, maybe Randy Moss. I'm not sure who exactly they've got, but he hasn't been doing anything other than just kind of like the armchair handoff. And so then they go to the booth.
He's not really covering football.
Right.
It's just kind of
it's like when ESPN brings Berman back. And you just want to watch highlights, and here you are, and it's like, it's the playoffs, and now here's Chris Berman, and back, all wrong sport. Like, it's just, you haven't been there all year. You haven't doing anything. Now, like, I get Costas doing the Olympics because we know him to do the Olympics. But,
and it's once every 4 years, so it's like, there's a break. But football, it's every week.
He can't swipe in and take everyone's job, right, when they've been doing it all year. He hasn't.
I think it's just odd. You don't think it's odd, though? I mean, he's been a part of the broadcast team.
Yeah.
And then you have the Super Bowl. It's a little odd to just take one guy off the team and go, you're not going.
But he's the guy you pull off. I mean, he really is. And his response is what the response should be like. I don't care. He's not, I think they did the right thing on that.
Isn't Bob Costas supposed to be the commissioner of baseball anyhow?
He should be. Right? Except for that he's just got that antiquated. If he could, he'd go back to Abner Doubleday. I mean, it would be as basic as you can. Like, games would be like cricket and last for 18 days, and we would watch them in Busch Stadium, and we would enjoy them. Like, he really, truly has that antiquated view of tradition, purity. That's why it's kind of
You
weird.
make him sound like an Aryan.
He is.
Tradition, purity.
Right.
Oh, no, I was talking baseball, guys. What's everyone so upset?
Right.
Yeah. No mixing, right, Miles?
No changing up. Fastballs and curveballs, and that's all we'll throw. And the DH will die. I'm Bob Costas.
It's funny you bring up white nationalist or any of those kind of people, right? I'm going somewhere with this. So there's a show on Viceland called Hate Thy Neighbor, right? So they follow the guy's British. He's mixed. So it's funny when he goes to a lot of this stuff, like, first of all, the racist dudes aren't really sure, right? So whenever they bring up Muslims, they kind of stare at him because they're not really sure if he's Muslim. Whenever they bring up race stuff, like he's mixed, so they're just not positive, right? So whenever they say the N-word, they're always like,
is he
right? like they just stare at him. He went, and you're right, like it's crazy. Like the nationalist people, they're like, we're not racist. It's just this and that and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So the last one I watched, when you go to a massive sporting event or something, and there's the people there with the giant God signs,
of course,
and they're real aggressive, yelling at you, and you got to repent.
The
just like God wanted them to do, right?
Right. So he followed a group of those dudes around, right? And they went to Southern Decadence in New Orleans, which is obviously a very large.
Did they go there by choice, or did he take them there?
This is their annual trip.
No, this is what they do.
They get pumped.
You're kidding me.
No.
Those guys goes to Decadence?
Well, to go
protest.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
It's like if they go there and throw down.
No,
man,
this is their Super Bowl.
Their jig is up.
It is their Super Bowl.
I mean, this is like, there's a bunch of gay people. That's who we like yelling at most.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's essentially what it comes down to.
Right. And it's so strange because they look like the Village People. There's like a big hairy one. There's like the small little, like
the Indian, the construction
worker. Right, if you were going to make stereotypes
cowboy,
of what a group of like 5 gay dudes would look like, it's like these guys. But they, quote unquote, hate gay people, right?
Yeah.
But it's just funny, and I've done this too. At sporting events, I've seen those people and kind of got in their face or whatever. And you realize after watching the show, like, they love it.
Oh, yeah.
That's the whole thing for them. Like, I'm not even...
It's probably like some sick sexual thing, too. Like, they'd like to be tied up and yelled at and beaten.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know?
The only time... I normally don't
by
even
another
respond.
man, I would guess, as well.
Because my thing is, like, look, I really don't care about your opinion about anything. Good for you. If it works for you, good. Whatever. So, even when they're out there yelling and all that, and they'll yell stuff to me, I don't care. But the one time I took my son to a soccer game, it's just me and him. He was 4 at the time.
Yeah.
This guy started yelling at him, and I stopped in front of him. I said, you yell at me again with my son here, so I'm going to end your life. I'm just telling you that right now. Whatever else you think you're doing, you yell at me in front of my goddamn kid again. It'll be the last thing you do on this planet. And he was very understanding because I was not kidding. Like, you raised your goddamn voice, and my kid is standing there like, man, they're going to pull that sign out of your ass. And you're wondering, well, how would it fit? We're going to make it fit. There's no question about it, man. Don't yell at people when they're with their kids. That would be my advice. Because most parents, we're going to do what we can to end you.
I like to whisper to them.
I was not whispering.
Get real close to their ear.
I think you're really cute.
Yeah.
Can we maybe go for a hot dog over here, hot bag of nuts?
All right. You know what? People can be funny or they can be punny. Let's go to College Station, Texas. A local news report about a chicken.
The owner of a chicken named Big Mama shared her obituary as an ad in the Eagle newspaper. The ode to the hen spoke of how the Sword family rescued her from being put down in 2013. She no longer had to be cooped up and spent the rest of her days with 24/7 love in College Station. Now, there was no foul play involved in Big Mama's death. Her family believes their beloved chicken has made it to the other side in peace.
Chicken nerd.
Wow.
She said there was no foul play.
I know.
I was like,
So clever.
That is awesome.
Made it to the other side.
Yeah. She was on it, man.
You're so punny.
All right. What is the main thing that goes on in Hollywood right now? Jesus.
What do you mean?
Not the sexual assault.
Oh, then I don't know.
Right, not that. Not that.
No originality and just
Reboots.
retreading other crap that other people did because they have no originality.
Correct.
Okay.
Steady taking L's. Candice Bergen is back for a new season of Murphy Brown.
I mean, you know. I mean, even if the show was great, I didn't watch it when it was on, but even if it was fantastic, it has to be, 20 years, 25 years? Like,
it just seems insane. Like,
it seems insane to me. For one reason, it's just this, man. And it's not trying to dog all the writers in Hollywood and all that thing, but there's only like 5 or 6 different goddamn things you do, right? The characters can sell it, but otherwise, it's the same stuff. It's hospitals, it's cops, it's firemen, you know what I mean? Even the sitcoms, people in the same situations all the time. The stupid father, the witty mother, all this. So I get that stuff never changes, ever. You have better actors, you have better writing, and you have better characters on some of these shows, and I think that's why they survive. But that's why I don't understand the need to bring back specifically Murphy Brown. Or
the only thing I'll say is
because you've redone the show 1,000 times already.
I don't agree with the idea of a reboot. If she's going to come back to television and that's what she wants to do, that's fine. But I do think, in a certain way, it seems like the demographic for television obviously is always skewed younger. Mm-hmm. So most of the shows are, but when you think about like the shows that somehow stood the test of time, that were there for an older demographic, that were loyal and watching, like Matlock, or Angela Lansbury, or Murder She Wrote, or whatever it is.
The
it's
Father
like
Dowling
Quinn,
medicine
for
woman,
some reason, there's an older demographic that deserves a show, and if it's kind of catered towards them,
they have a show.
What?
It's called NCIS.
Oh.
Well, somebody's got to be watching it.
I swear to God, man, I told you I was on a plane between 2 60-year-old people, and I went, yeah, I like that show. 2 hours they talked about it.
Well, there's so many cities.
I know, but I was just drunk and trying to be friendly. And then they kept referencing the show. It's just like...
Did you tell them you do a TV segment every day?
No, and I have no idea about the show. I think all I got out was
it's the number one show on television, and I have never watched it.
I said, do you know what? I got to be honest. I've watched a couple episodes with my mom. But seriously, I think that, like, NCIS sticks around. I guess, like, it just seems crazy to me that we're talking about Murphy Brown is back, Roseanne is back. Mm-hmm. And I don't know... Because there's other
Kevin
shows
James back with his old wife.
Yeah, right? But, like, I mean, take a show like Blackish, right? Mm-hmm. That's different. That show is great. That's one of the few shows on network TV that, like, I make an appointment to watch. But
I make it a point to watch. But, again, it's still not... I like the characters, I like the writing, but conceptually, like, it's nothing new. That's what
It's the
it's
Wonder Years. It's narrated. It's like the Goldbergs. It's the same pretty well.
Sort of, but I mean, you don't need to reboot all these shows when every show on TV is essentially what every other show on TV's ever been. Like, if you come up with new or better or funnier characters, like on network TV in particular, if you watch it on network TV, no matter what generation you are, you can compare it to 25 freaking shows of the exact same thing. Either you like this set of characters or you don't, right? I mean, that's it.
Yeah,
how many hospital dramas do you need?
All the new one is like, he's a young doctor.
Right, but it's the same
he's a young
thing, right?
guy.
Let me guess, he's controversial. Because you had the other show, House, where he was not a young doctor. He did not have Asperger's, but he was controversial with his decisions. Like, all of these shows
and addicted to pills.
And addicted to pills, man. But who's not? But all these shows are exactly the same. Nothing new is ever going to happen. That's the only reason I don't get the reboot. It's like, come on, man. I mean, there's 500 of these goddamn shows already.
I think sometimes, too, it sucks for, like, if you're a guy that's writing shows or there's new shows out there, like I get it. Some of the reboots are going to be safe and stuff, but also reboots. Like, they're safer, and that network knows they're going to make money. But on the same token, you can also have something that completely breaks the mold,
like a Game of Thrones or a Breaking Bad,
Chappelle's Show.
But think about what you're saying, and I think this explains a lot. I think just the older demographic is more likely to watch network TV, and I think that's why a lot of this network TV is just reboots of the garbage that they watched before. And cable, you can still break down doors,
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, cable is still a place you can go to come up with something original. And even if it's not super original, it can be original enough. Like you said, open doors a little bit. Look, zombies aren't freaking new, but Walking Dead figured out a way to do whatever they did. Game of Thrones, fantasy is nothing freaking new, but they found a way to make it interesting, right?
Murphy Brown should be on at 7 on the new one, just so, because, I mean, you're done with dinner at 4:30. You start to get tired, you wind down, you eat your dinner, and then, you're by 8 o'clock, man. You're,
right.
I don't know what world you're living in, but if I'm a senior, I'm probably asleep by 8:30. Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. We got headlines on the way with Mike Hawk. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Wisconsin man crashes wedding at Best Western before bride punches him in the face. Meanwhile, a Florida valet gives the keys to a Ferrari to the wrong man, who decides to, why not, drive it about the place. England man who raised African rock python into adulthood gets tapped out. Miami auction offers dining room table with 2 stripper poles so you can eat and dine out. And Charlotte police officers give free coffee to people willing to not leave their car running unattended. This is true, and it's time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's Mike Hawk.
All right, our top story in Wisconsin. A man got drunk with a couple of coworkers at a hotel bar and decided that they would crash the wedding reception being held in the ballroom to try to get laid. Well, it didn't go according to plan. He went inside and attempted to dance with 2 17-year-old girls and 1 18-year-old woman, groping all 3, before a 14-year-old came over to call him out on inappropriate behavior. He responded by yanking the young girl's hair, causing her pain, which caused an uproar. The scuffle ended with him decking the father of the bride. Feeling bad about assaulting an old person, he walked over to the bride and apologized, saying that he, quote, hoped he didn't ruin her party. She responded by punching him square in the face. He was arrested on a bunch of charges.
He should have been. And he was let go on $1,000 bond.
That's it.
He did all that. He groped underage girls. He punched a man in the face for no reason. He did a bunch of crap. They let him out for $1,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
what the hell? What is wrong with that?
Why is a 14-year-old girl the only one to say anything to him?
Exactly. And not only that, but I'll tell you why.
Because she's the only one not drunk?
she's the only one paying attention these days.
Right.
You think?
I think so. Yeah, absolutely.
Really, he walks in there with 2 of his buddies drunk off his ass, and a 14-year-old is the only one that says, is this guy allowed to be here?
Yeah, stop groping my sister.
Yeah,
fair
what
enough.
he told her.
Was what she told him.
Fair enough. Yeah,
I mean,
he was...
Look, man, you're going to defend your siblings.
Mm-hmm. Charged with abuse of a child, disorderly conduct, and 2 counts of 4th-degree sexual assault.
$1,000.
$1,000 to get him out of jail.
$1,000.
That's amazing.
Free on $1,000.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Around the world, a man in England has paid the price for having an African rock python as a pet. The man's mother heard a crash coming from his room and found him dead on the floor. The coroner concluded that he died of asphyxiation from the animal. However, the mother believed that the man tripped while handling it during a show of affection.
Tripped with a thing coiled around its neck. It's a bummer when that happens. What a bad timing thing. It wasn't the fact that the snake was coiled around his neck, suffocated him, and he fell. It was the fact that he was walking with the snake coiled around his neck.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that's what happened.
That's why you don't feel bad.
Yeah.
She said that he was actually a very good handler. He understood that if it started to coil, that you unwrap from the tail, not the head, and that the snake was starting to get a little bit more aggressive.
That's great if he understood that, but he didn't put it into action.
Right. And then she just, they were
You
just
take it off
hugging it out.
You
basically.
take it off like a scarf, Mike.
Right. That's exactly right. Yeah. Guys, snakes are not pets. They're not cuddly. They don't show affection. They're not happy to see you. There was a gal, I think, a while back that would sleep with her snake, and she found that it was cuddling up alongside of her one night, just sliding up along the length of her, and it was laying the entire length of her, just cuddling as they slept. She told somebody this, and they said, yeah, put that thing in its cage when you go to bed. It's not cuddling, it's sizing you up.
Yeah.
To see if it can eat you.
To see if you can fit.
Exactly.
Right. That is a wild reptile. It is not a pet.
Hey, let him do it.
I guess.
Let him do it.
I
Natural
guess.
selection is natural selection in the wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's that easy,
It's
man.
not all Tide Pod challenges.
Hey, look, any way you want to do it,
Tide
man.
Pod challenges
Either
to
way
snakes.
wants to get you there. If you're that dumb, you deserve it.
In Florida, a valet is in deep water after he gave the keys to a $300,000 Ferrari to the wrong person. A young man came up to the valet and insisted that it was his car and demanded for the keys, saying that he forgot his ticket and that he had left it in the car. Though he never actually procured the ticket when he got the car, he just sat in it with the girl that he was trying to impress. The valet, thinking that he wasn't getting a tip, eventually just walked away and they drove off. Police found the owner eventually did come out and said, "Where's my car?" Then they figured out that it was stolen. Police found the car in a short time with both the kid, the girl, some coke, and some weed.
Nice. That's a hell of a party, man.
I mean, you're in Florida. You got a Ferrari.
Now,
I
here's-
expect any Ferrari you pull over probably has coke or traces of it in there.
It's a Ferrari, man.
Right. So my
Florida.
question is, did the kid bring the coke into the Ferrari, or did he open up the glove box and say, "Look, there's coke and weed"?
Look, I'm going to tell you,
Yeah, good point.
this is my belief. I think if you buy a Ferrari, they give you an 8-ball. Like,
Mike,
it's just,
Mike,
you know,
Mike,
some people
Mike.
give you a free oil change. I'm convinced they go, man, here's an 8-ball. Enjoy.
Mike, understand this. No one who's celebrating sobriety buys a Ferrari.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
true.
Oh, dude, I've been clean for 2 years. Buy a Ferrari.
Just saying, they charged the kid
That's
that
not how
stole the
it
car.
works.
They charged the kid with grand theft auto as well as possession.
Well, because it was his coke and it was this girl that he picked up's weed.
That's what they're saying. I'm wondering if
Yeah.
this dude who had his Ferrari stolen didn't just get off lucky that somebody else was getting into his coke and then just waiting. Oh no, that's his.
You kind of hope
No,
that
no,
is
no,
the
no,
case
no.
because you'd be like, yep, it wasn't mine.
Mike, if you're doing coke, you don't leave it in your car. If you're doing coke, you carry it with you at all times. If he's going into that hotel to eat, well, he probably wouldn't be, to go to the bar,
He's not eating.
to spend the night, he's got his coke on him.
Yeah,
All
but
right?
I also think
But it's
if
a
you own
Ferrari.
a Ferrari,
Yeah.
he had coke on him too.
Yeah, he's got multiple.
Oh, so that's just where he keeps the
Right.
stash.
I think
Right.
he had coke on him too.
All right, follow
But I
me.
get the feeling if you have a Ferrari, man, you
You don't
the
go
gas
here, buddy.
station.
Hold my coke.
That's right. That's it for your headlines with that. Mike Hawk is out.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time for the return of Ted versus the FCC. Bad jokes, and we'll drink and toast once again with a shot of the day.
Yes, indeed, it is all true. We be all about this bitch, but we shall return. So until then, please do what you do best, and for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.